Welcome, guys. This is Chelsea Football Talk with CFC Great to have you back. Absolutely massive game tomorrow against Real Madrid. Season-defining game. Let's be honest, all we're playing for at this point is the Champions League. Later on in this video, I'll predict Frank Lampard's starting 11, and I'll give you a score prediction for the match. What's the backdrop to this game? Obviously, our Chelsea Blues struggling terribly in the league. Terrible bit of form. Leave it only to Chelsea to not get a manager balance that it feels like every other team in the Premier League get, but Chelsea managed to avoid for some crazy reason. But this is the Champions League. This is Chelsea Football Club. In the past 12 years, we've always managed to pick it up no matter what our league form is and do very well in the Champions League. We won it with Thomas Tuchel. We won it with Roberto Di Matteo. And those wins were off the back of very tumultuous seasons. Real Madrid is coming off a loss against Villarreal, but otherwise, their form was turning. They thrashed Barcelona twice, combined score of 6-1. Karim Benzema, 6 goals in his last 3 games. This is a major task for our boys, and I really don't know what we're going to get. What's my predicted lineup for this game? I think Frank Lampard will go with the 3-4-3. I believe Frank Lampard will go with Kepa. Mendy is my preferred option, but let's be real here. He hasn't played in a while, and I don't think you can simply bring him back in our biggest game of the season in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. For that reason and that reason only, I believe that Kepa will start. For our back 3, we'll go Fofana, Thiago Silva, coming back from an injury. We learned today that he is fully healthy, fully fit. Whether that means he actually starts, I'm not sure, but this is a massive game, and I would go with Thiago Silva. And with my last center back, I would go with Kalidou Koulibaly. If Benoit Badiashile was in the squad, I would have put Badiashile in the starting lineup, but since he's not, I think the only option is Koulibaly. I wouldn't go with Cucurella with his performance last game. And let's be real, Koulibaly has been pretty good in the Champions League. His struggles have really been in the Premier League. With our wing backs, easy call here. Reece James, right wing back. Ben Chilwell, left wing back. With the midfield, I go with a midfield 2, and I would go with Enzo Fernandez and N'Golo Kante. And the attack, I mean, who knows what to go with? We don't know what we're going to get with any of our attackers. Let's face it, none of them are consistent. But for this game, I would go with Mudryk on the left. Some of my followers say Pulisic should go on that left. I don't think he had a particularly good game against Wolves. Yeah, he struggled, but this is the Champions League, and Pulisic is typically a different player in the Champions League. He likes to show up. But I would go with Mudryk, João Felix up top, and Mason Mount in the starting lineup. Mason Mount, we just learned today, is fully fit and back in the squad. Who knows if Frank Lampard goes and throws him in the starting lineup immediately, but I would start Mason Mount. Last 4 games against Real Madrid, 2 goals, 2 assists. The man loves playing against Real Madrid. Now, Frank Lampard could go with a different formation. He could go with a 3-5-2 and opt to play 3 central midfielders there where you could bring in a Mateo Kovacic, and you could go with a 3 of Mateo Kovacic, Enzo Fernandez, and N'Golo Kante to match up with that center midfield of Real Madrid, Luka Modric, Camavinga, and Toni Kroos. That may be where Frank Lampard goes with the 3 in the midfield, but we need to be able to score goals, and I get worried by only going with 2 at the top. Are we going to create the chances that we need to create to beat Real Madrid? But anyways, that's my predicted starting lineup. There's a number of interesting matchups all over the field in the game tomorrow. You've got Reece James versus Vinicius. You think Ben Chilwell versus Rodrigo is a very under-the-radar matchup. If we remember, Rodrigo was the one that scored the goal to send us out of the Champions League the last time we played Real Madrid. Benzema versus Thiago Silva and the rest of our center backs. I mean, Benzema versus Fofana. All incredibly exciting matchups. How does our midfield stack up against the Real Madrid midfield? Oh, score prediction. I don't know. If you asked me right after we played the Wolves, I would have said we lose 5-0 at the Bernabéu. But this is the Champions League, and Chelsea tends to show up. But I really don't know. My gut tells me 1-0 Real Madrid at the Bernabéu. I think our defense is particularly strong. It hasn't been a weakness of ours. If we're playing with a back 3, I don't see how Madrid puts up 3-4 goals. My heart tells me 1-1 at the Bernabéu, setting up an absolutely massive showdown next week at Stamford Bridge. Guys, let me know what you think about tomorrow's matchup in the comments below. Give me a subscribe. Give me your predicted scoreline. Give me your predicted lineup. And let's see what happens. Go Blues.